ATM machines, automatic teller machines, cash, limiting cash, getting rid of cash, going to CBDCs, and everything else. It's just happening right now. I mean, things are being implemented. I know I talked in the past that I believe it was March or May of 2020 that everyone is going to have a FedNow account. Federal Reserve. Now, everyone has a FedNow account as of now. Today's date, we're in 2023. We're in March. Everyone has a FedNow account, whether they know it or not. They do. They're registered. I mean, register, I say that loosely and lightly. It's ready for you. It's going to happen. It's happening. So anyways, on that, I have some links below. That kind of stuff. I'm just going to go over some different things with different dates and just keep people thinking about this thing. This is real. It's really happening. It's like, well, I say there's hyperinflation, and there has been, but there's going to be da-da-da-da. Well, people don't realize, really, they didn't realize they were in what was called World War II or World War I or, any other war until, midway through or later. Then they're like, all right, this is what's going on. This is what we got. It's not just a conflict. It's not just this. It's not just these little things. Once it's all together, this is what's being implemented. So, April 2022. Nigeria limits ATM withdrawals to $45 per day to force government-controlled digital payments. That's all Nigeria. That was April 2022. Cash machines are disappearing. This is an article from a story from October 2020. So over 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. This is a quote, since 2015 there have been an 85% decrease in the number of new ATMs deployed compared to 251,800 units installed in 2015. It's 85% decrease. And then the numbers of free-to-use cash machines has fallen below 40,000. It's the lowest number in more than a decade. All right. Well, people are, well, we still pay with digits. We still pay with cash. Actually, someone might say, I never use cash. I don't need it. I get all these other things, and it's easy. It's whatever, free. It's simple. Anyways, but that's how you're giving your freedom away. You're giving your choice away. That's how you're giving control to other entities and other people or governments or whatever you want to attribute it to. Let's see. So we have the Visa Cashless Challenge. It's operational. It's going. As it's called that. Will offer retailers across the U.S. $10,000, Canada, $12,700 to implement technologies for digital payments, but on condition the retailers stop accepting bills and coins, cash, from their customers, consumers. It's the Visa Cashless Challenge. So they're offering these businesses a lump sum of 10 grand or higher to get rid of cash and just use digital payments. In these locations where they've accepted this, they've done this, shoppers would be limited or are limited to paying digitally, either by credit or debit or smartphone smartphone apps like Apple Pay, Venmo, that kind of stuff. That's another little clip story. In 2022, USPS, United States Postal Service, removed 711 cash sorting machines. What would be the need for that? Why would you do that? Unless your whole thing is to implement digital forms of payment only and get rid of cash, get rid of that, personal, I guess, privacy action of it, keeping your purchases private. Silicon Valley, this is just recent. This is on 3/13/2023. So just, a number of days ago. Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, as they're known, it's in the headlines, closed the U.S. government went against the law written in 2012, I believe it was written in 2012, 2014. I don't remember the exact date when the law was written. That says no more bailouts, only bail-ins, and that went, out the window. So the government, you want to call it the regime, you want to call it the Biden regime, whatever, U.S. government, went against that ruling from 2012 and 2014, whatever that was set in place, and they did a bailout. They stated, we will protect, quote unquote, bail out all customers of SVB Bank that had over $250,000 in their accounts. Well, that doesn't seem right, because who has over $250,000 in these accounts? Well, who has over $250,000 in these accounts are the friends of friends, they're the politicians, they're the CEOs of large corporations, large companies that are all in bed, and they're all playing with the same, I guess, stocks, the same stock market, the same control aspects of it. And you scratch my back, I scratch your back type of deal. So what it really did was bail out the 1% or even smaller than that. The important people, they would call it. The people that were really needed to be bailed out, those people is what they said they'd save. They're going to contribute to. And they said they would bail them out. They said the government will take care of it. The government has got it covered. Do not worry about it, because the government will take care of it. The government has no money. And I've said this before, they have zero. They don't have anything they can't steal from somebody else to give to you or give to someone else. They don't have anything they can't steal from you to give to your friend, your neighbor, whatever. They don't have anything. Zero. They have nothing. All they have is the force, the monopoly on force, people with guns, the order followers that will come and take away people or threaten with violence. If you don't give some of your income, your hard-earned labor, to the government, or allow the government to steal it from you or take it from you so they can do what they will with it, those are the people that they made sure they're covered, they're safe, they'll take care of them. Because if they had $250,000 or less, well, then they're covered by FDIC. Well, FDIC is pretty insolvent itself, but that's what people say, well, they're covered by FDIC, so I should support them. I should have confidence keeping all my funds in this bank. Well, anyone who knows anything and pays attention to this knows FDIC is nothing but empty promises. It's something just to get people to believe more than nonsense and go along. So anyways, so this is a little list I have here of the banks, just some of the banks, not all, some of the banks, some of the large banks, mainly they're all large banks, and their daily limits on cash for the banks. So I got a daily ATM withdrawal limit, and I have a daily debt purchase limit. So I'm going to go through this because I think it's crazy. Bank of America, daily ATM withdrawal limit is $1,000. You can't withdraw more than $1,000 from your account, quote unquote, you might have in Bank of America. Daily debit purchase limit, so using your debit card, that kind of stuff, is $5,000. You can't buy anything over $5,000. We got BB&T, that bank. The daily ATM withdrawal limit is $500 to $1,500, depending what it is, if they approve it, that kind of stuff. And the daily debt purchase limit is $3,000 to $6,000, following those same kind of stipulations. Capital One, the daily ATM withdrawal limit is $610, and the daily debit purchase limit is $2,500. Chase Bank, the daily ATM withdrawal limit is $400 to $500, and the daily debit limit purchase and limit is $400 to $3,000, and that has stipulations with it. It's higher depending on certain situations, their approval, of course. HSBC is the daily ATM withdrawal limit is $5,000 to $1,000, or $500 to $1,000, and the daily debit purchase limit is $3,000. We have Huntington National Bank. Daily ATM withdrawal limit is $400, and the daily debit purchase limit is $400. MMT, daily withdrawal limit is $400. Daily purchase limit, that was Huntington National Bank. M&T Bank, daily withdrawal limit is $500, and the daily purchase limit is $2,500. PNC Bank, $100 to $1,500 for the withdrawal limit, ATM withdrawal limit, and the daily purchase limit is $9,500. It's a $9,500 limit. That's stipulations depending if they approve certain things or not. We have Regions Bank. Daily withdrawal ATM limit is $800, and then the purchase limit on your debit is $5,000. We have Santander, $1,000 to $2,500 daily ATM withdrawal limit, and then daily debit purchase limit is $5,000 to $11,500, depending on your debit card. And the last one I have here on this list is SunTrust. SunTrust daily ATM withdrawal limit is $500 to $2,500, and then the daily debit limit on the purchase, any purchases, is $3,000 to $30,000. And of course, that's with stipulations. Depends. You got to let them know. You got to get approval, whatever, and then they use whatever else to judge and decide if it's okay. But that's the highest one that I've found just quickly looking for it. I'm not saying this is all, but it's crazy that just Bank of America, daily ATM withdrawal limit's $1,000. So if I need to, I'm going to buy a vehicle for my son from one of his buddies or someone he found it from for $2,500. It's on the weekend. It was on Saturday he found out about this. And he wants to do it on Sunday. Well, I can't get that much between Saturday and Sunday. $25 cash if I don't have anything on me. I can only put out $1,000 a day. Besides the fact you should not have your money in the banks, like I've said before, there's a bigger thing to this. It's control, but people feel okay with it. I can deal with it. I'll prepare accordingly, or I'll make sure things are taken care of, or I'll make sure I'm ready, or I adjust my behavior because I know there's stipulations, these rules, these whatever you want to call them, there, and then I'll live with it. It's fine, even though you think it's your money. Anyways, so occasionally banks institute different limits on daily debits purchases depending on how the transaction is entered or tendered. Cash app limits. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. How much you can send, receive, and withdraw. These all vary, but they're the same as this ATM limit withdrawal and the purchase limit that they have at these banks I talked about. But these apps that I'm talking about is stuff like Apple Pay, Google Pay, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle or Zeal, Venmo, Samsung Pay, MetaPay, etc. They all have it. There's this like control aspect to it of how you're going to spend your labor. Because I don't no longer try to call it money because it doesn't function as money. It functions as currency, but that's a storing of your labor is what it is. So I don't know. And I just reading this other article which had a bunch of propaganda to sell this cashless thing, sell this, digits only for everyone. It'd be great and that kind of stuff. And just some of the points they went over, or just some of the terms they went over, I should say. I didn't go into it deep, but it's like, so this is what they have, the convenience. It will save time of cash. Save time versus cash. Another one was security. Safer than cash. Okay? Well, that's just their bold statement, but that's not true whatsoever, either of those. And discounts. Government to offer, so they have discounts. Government to offer incentives and discounts for people not using cash, for people using these digits, these things on your smartphone, or these credit cards, or whatever you want to say. Just be digits. Don't use cash. We'll incentivize you to do that. What would be the reason they'd want to do that? Well, because this is their next big step. Because it used to be, at least it's still some places I go to in smaller areas, is if you use cash, you can get the stuff for cheaper. Because then the place, the person, the business doesn't have to pay the extra surcharges of the Visa thing. Whether you're using debit and it has a Visa or a MasterCard symbol on it, they still get that transaction amount on it, usually, unless you specify debit purchase or you're using credit cards or whatever. Every swipe, they're paying a percentage, whether it's a 2% or 4% or 4.5% or 2.5%, 3%, it doesn't matter. They're paying that. They're paying that every single time the customer comes in and uses that. So now, most places are saying they won't take cash, or they'll give you a deal if you use, a cashless way, an app on your phone, or swipe your card, or whatever it is. Even though it costs them more, really, because they don't get charged for it, what would the incentive be for that? Well, we know one of them is that whole Visa cashless challenge itself. If you can not accept cash at all, we'll give you $10,000 or $12,700 if you're in Canada. And I'm sure that's going to fluctuate. That's just the standard rate that it came out with. That thing, the Visa cashless challenge that they put on, are still behind as far as I've seen so far. Nothing else that I've seen has told me any different. But anyways, I'm just saying these to get people to realize. You might think cash is just, it's a pain, or it's this, or it's that, or it's old, or whatever, but cash has some sense of privacy still. It gives you some freedom that you don't have if you no longer can use it. You don't have any entity or any place or any government or anything saying, no, you're going to be shut down if you travel this far, or I'm going to shut you down. You're not able to purchase anything if you don't do this, this, or that, or because you posted this or said that or didn't do this or whatever it was, you can no longer do this or purchase this firearm, or you can no longer purchase these goods or these services or whatever it is, because they know what's better, or because they don't want you to, plain and simple. It doesn't matter. But there is some freedom and there is some privacy still with using cash, and I can't stand cash at all, just for what it is. It steals your wealth every second you hold your labor in cash. But anyways, that's a whole nother spectrum, a whole other story. I've been over that many times. But anyways, I just want to thank you for watching this. If you like this, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And as always, stay vigilant, protect yourself, protect your family, protect your health, protect